Assalamu alaikum. Welcome all of you in this session. Today we'll discuss with some auspice stations in obstetrics. Auspice, very important thing for your exam. Now I am sharing my screen. Can you see? Can
Yes,
you see?
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, today we'll discuss with auspice station pictorial diagnosis. That means we can diagnose the case by seeing the picture, and we will discuss. In OSPE, there are three types of question usually come: static station, there are some counseling station, and there are some procedure station. We'll discuss today with static station. In static station, there may be question, there may be some pictures, there may be picture of some instrument or drug or any other things such as specimen, or any patient's picture can be given in static station. Anything can be given in static station. So it is very important for your exam. Today I'll show you some of the pictures, and I will discuss some of the stations, but you have to read a lot from your book for your preparedness. So we start. At first, can you see the picture? This is the picture. A picture like this can come in your exam. This is placenta with membranes. Placenta with membrane. This is a picture of placenta with membrane. This is fetal surface, and placenta has two surfaces. This is the maternal surface, and this is the placenta with umbilical cord. Okay? Then question may come, what are the functions of the placenta? There are various functions of placenta, such as transport function, transport of nutrients, and transport of waste materials, some hormonal function, an enzyme, it can produce some enzyme or a hormone, and also barrier function. These are the functions of placenta. Then question may be here, from where placenta develops. This is the fetal surface, it's smooth, and this is the maternal surface. This is rough. Fetal surface develops from chorion frondosum, and maternal surface from decidua basalis. When placenta grows, placental growth completes at 12 weeks of age. Question may come, what are the abnormalities of placenta? There may be some abnormalities of placenta, such as morphological abnormality or attachment abnormality. Morphologically, there may be circumvallate placenta. Circumvallate placenta is a large placenta, and there may be membranous placenta. Peripheral part of the placenta may be membranous. There may be filamentous insertion of the cord. Cord may be attached to one edge of the placenta. These are the common abnormality. There may be extra lobe of the placenta, which may be retained within the uterus, and there may be PPH if it is retained. And other abnormalities of placenta may be placenta previa, in which placenta is situated in the lower part of the uterus, partially or completely. There may be abruptio placenta. Abruptio placenta means separation of a normally situated placenta before delivery, before term. This type of question may come from placenta. And this is another question. A lady has delivered a baby half an hour back. Explain to her how to breastfeed a baby and show proper positioning and attachment as far as possible. This is the counseling station. How to breastfeed. Explain how to breastfeed baby. Any counseling station, you have at first you have to introduce yourself. I am a medical student. আমি একজন মেডিকেল ছাত্র বা ছাত্রী, আমি আপনার সাথে একটু কথা বলবো, আমি আপনাকে কোনো কষ্ট দিব না, কোনো ব্যথা দিব না, এভাবে বলে শুরু করতে হবে। হ্যাঁ, in case of breastfeeding, at first introduce yourself and we'll show the how the position and attachment, show the position and attachment of the baby with breast, and you'll tell some advantages of breastfeeding. And I'm showing this. This is the position for breastfeeding. Position breastfeeding. Baby's head should be in the elbow and baby's buttock in the palm, and baby's head, back and buttock should be in same straight line, and baby is in close contact with the mother, skin to skin contact, and baby should be well supported. These are the 4 points of positioning. This is positioning. Baby is in straight line, baby's neck in the elbow, baby's head, body and neck in the straight line and supported by the mother's hand, and baby's skin to skin contact. These are the point of positioning. And you tell mother that you should put the baby's mouth, put the baby your nipple to baby's mouth, and baby will open mouth widely. Then you will put breast into the baby's mouth. Then you'll show the attachment. This is a picture of good attachment. This is nipple and this is areola. When there is good attachment, nipple and areola, as much as possible, should be within the baby's mouth. And this is one point. And baby's lower lip is curled upwards, and upper areola is seen more than the lower areola, and chin touches the breast. These are the 4 points of attachment. So for good attachment, baby should be like this. Here nipple is seen and areola is not within the baby's mouth. This is poor attachment. Then you'll tell some of the advantages of breastfeeding, such as this is good for your health. This is good for your health and also baby. This will reduce your bleeding, pervaginal bleeding. That means reduce PPH. It helps in involution of the uterus, and it also acts as a natural contraceptive if you breastfeed your baby exclusively. That means exclusive breastfeed acts as a contraceptive for the first 6 months. And there are also baby's advantage. Baby will get all the nutrients from the breast milk, and it is natural, no chance of infection and contamination. There is also social and economic benefit. These are the advantages. So you have to tell the attachment, you have to tell the positioning, advantages of breastfeeding, And you have also tell that mother have to take some extra amounts of food. And that means some amount of rice, dal, and meat, and fish, egg, extra amount of food, and plenty of water for her nutrition. And you have to also tell how to burp. Burping means keep the baby in the mother's shoulder and burping on the back of the baby, so that gas which enters during breastfeeding will come out. After all this, after telling all this, you ask the mother whether she has any question or not, and you will give thanks to mother. After this is the counseling of the breastfeeding. This is a picture. There may be a picture like this, and maybe question, what is this picture? You show that there is hemoglobin, ESR, and total count, and also differential counts, MCV, MCHC, platelet count. So this is a picture of CBC, that means complete blood picture. This is a picture of complete blood picture. This is a normal picture. Hemoglobin is within the normal level, average within the normal level, and total count is 4.18 million normal. And WBC count is slightly raised, but it is normal during pregnancy. WBC count may be raised up to 15,000 per cubic millimeter during pregnancy. So this is normal. And polymorphs and other cells are within normal limits. MCB within normal limit, MCH within normal limit, and platelet count within normal limit. So this is a normal blood picture. If hemoglobin is less, this may be a picture of anemia. If MCB, MCHC is less, this may be a picture of anemia. Then there may be some picture of the drugs. Any drug used in obstetrics can be given during exam. That means injection oxytocin, injection argometrin, injection nalepsin, injection Maxalf, and tablet such as antihypertensive drugs, methyl dopa or labetalol, or any orodaxon, injection orodaxon. Any drug can be given during exam. And question will be like that, identify the drugs, and some question will be given, answer the following. There may be ampoule, or there may be picture of the ampoule. If there is ampoule, you can see the ampoule. That this is G-Maxalf. This is used. Question may be, what are the uses in obstetrics? Injection Maxalf is used during hypertension, severe hypertension, that means severe preeclampsia, and as a preventive measures to prevent convulsion, and also used during eclampsia. It also acts as a tocolytic drugs and used as a tocolytic. It also used in premature labor as a tocolytic. It also has some function, such as it decreases the intraventricular hemorrhage of the fetus and decreases the necrotizing enterocolitis. It also has neurological effect, helps in neurological development of the fetus. There may be a question like that, what are the prerequisite for giving Maxalf? That is respiratory rate, presence of nasal, presence of urine, 30 ml per hour, all these questions. And what are the antidotes? What may be the antidotes of this? That is calcium gluconate. There may be so and so question. Then ask what is the loading dose of magnesium sulfate. Loading dose of magnesium sulfate, you know that 10 gram. There are IV and IM used. You'll practice this from your book. Then you can see this is the injection oxytocin. Examine the ampoule and answer the following question. There may be question when this drug is used. Oxytocin used during for induction of the labor or induction of the abortion, for augmentation of the labor, and also to prevent PPH. Also used during PPH, and also to prevent PPH in active management of the third stage of labor, that is AMTSL. This is the injection argometrin. Question may be asked, what are the uses? Uses like oxytocin, except it is not used induction or augmentation. It is used during to prevent PPH and also prophylactic use. It has prophylactic use to prevent PPH. What may be the contraindication? It is not used during hypertension, such as in preeclampsia or hypertension, or in Rh negative patients. And it is not used during labor. It is only used after delivery or after abortion. Identify the drug. Here, there is cytomys. There is some small letters, that is misoprostol. Yeah. You can identify the drug by seeing this. This is misoprostol. There may be use. What are the uses of these drugs? It can be used. Use of this drug as like injection oxytocin, like induction of the abortion, induction of the abortion and induction of the labor, augmentation of the labor, and to prevent PPH, this can be used. It is easily used in peripheral center, easily used. No injection or no IV can be given. It can be given orally, given rectally, or even vaginally, it can be used. This is a scenario. Read the following scenario and answer the question in relation to the scenario. A pregnant lady present at 37 weeks of gestation with abdominal pain with history of paravaginal bleeding. On examination, her blood pressure 150 by 90 millimeter of mercury. During examination shows 1+ albumin. What is the diagnosis? Look that blood pressure is raised 150 by 90 and urine albumin present, and she's 37 weeks. So this is a 37 weeks pregnancy with mild preeclampsia. Then what are the complications of this preeclampsia? It may be severe preeclampsia. If severe preeclampsia, there may be any complication that occur in severe eclampsia, that is from top to bottom. In case from top to bottom, you can say that there may be cerebral complication, there may be stroke, there may be eye complication, blurring of vision, there may be also visual loss, there may be ARDS in lungs, in liver, there may be HELLP syndrome, there may be renal dysfunction, there may be DIC, and these are the complications which can occur in preeclampsia. And what are the investigations for fetal monitoring? Look at this question. This is 37 weeks pregnancy, lower abdominal pain with history of PV bleeding. There is history of PV bleeding. On examination, her blood pressure is 150/90, and urine examination showed albumin 1+. So this is a case of PV bleeding, antepartum hemorrhage. Antepartum hemorrhage. There may be abruptio placenta, as there, and this is a case of severe. This is a case of mild preeclampsia. So this is 37 weeks pregnancy, PV bleeding with abdominal pain. Abdominal pain, and I have told up to this, if there is no PV bleeding, then you should write which I said previously. But 37 weeks pregnancy, abdominal pain, history of PV bleeding, and blood pressure is raised, urine albumin shows 1+ albumin. So diagnosis will be abruptio placenta in this case. Abruptio placenta. And what will be the complications of abruptio placenta? Complications may be acute renal failure. There may be coagulation failure, DIC. There may be excessive, if due to excessive antepartum hemorrhage, there may be, this may be followed by PPH, and patient may go to shock. Then the question, investigation for fetal monitoring. What are the investigations for fetal monitoring? We usually do ultrasonogram and CTG for fetal monitoring. Newborn examination. Question may ask, newborn examination. There may be a dummy of newborn, and there may be question how to examine the newborn. Examination of the newborn, you have to look at the baby's color, and you have to measure the occipitofrontal circumference, baby's length and weight, and you have to see from top to bottom whether there is any congenital anomaly, and whether respiratory rate and heart rate is normal, and you have to also see on the back side of the fetus if there is any congenital anomaly, and whether testes are descended or not in case of male baby. And at last, you have to see the reflexes of the baby. Newborn examination, up to this you have to tell. I have posted a video in Access Medical School Live. You can see that video, newborn examination. A male baby has just been delivered. Perform the task that you will do to manage the baby. That means immediate newborn care. Immediate newborn care. This is also a station, a procedure station. What will you do in immediate newborn care? You have to wrap the baby. You have to at first dry the baby with a clean cloth, and then you have to discard that, and then dry the baby with another cloth, and then have to cut the umbilicus. Umbilical. You have to give umbilical stamp, umbilical cord clamp. At first 2 finger, then 1 finger, and then 4 finger from the navel, and cut between the second and third stem. Second and third umbilical clamp. You have to also measure the Apgar score, and measure the weight of the baby, and you have to wrap the baby from top to bottom, especially the head with a cap, and then put to the mother's breast for breastfeeding, and skin to skin contact at least for 2 hours. This is the how to manage immediate management of the newborn baby. I have also posted a video for immediate management of the baby. Can you see the picture?
Yes, ma'am.
What is this picture? Can you tell? The skin is peeled and umbilical cord is like this. This is a picture of intrauterine death. Intrauterine death of the fetus. That means IUD. Then question may come, what are the causes of IUD? There may be maternal cause, fetal cause, and placental cause. Maternal cause may be, there may be some maternal infection, some maternal diseases like typhoid, acute fever, and diabetes mellitus, like this. And there may be some fetal causes. There may be chromosomal anomaly or other congenital anomaly, which may cause intrauterine death. There may be also some placental cause. If there is severe placental insufficiency, there may be intrauterine death. Then question may be, question may ask, what will be the complications if the fetus is retained in uterus for prolonged period of time? If a fetus is retained within uterus for prolonged period of time, there may be psychological upset, there may be infection and coagulation problem to the mother. There may be a lot of questions from this picture, how this baby can deliver, also like how a IUD baby can be delivered, and how to counsel a patient for breaking bad news if there is intrauterine death of the fetus, like this. This is a picture of another IUD. This is a picture. Can you see this picture? This is a picture of intrauterine fetal growth restriction. Look at this baby, face of this baby, intrauterine fetal growth restriction. The baby's face is look like old man, that is wizened face, and baby is emaciated. Baby is emaciated, and baby's weight may be less than 2.5 kg, and that means less than 10th percentile of the gestational age. Then a question may come, what are the causes of intrauterine growth restriction? There may be maternal cause, fetal cause, placental cause. And what may be the complications? Complications of the intrauterine fetal growth restriction may be from during antenatal period, there may be fetal hypoxia, fetal death. During internatal period also there may be fetal hypoxia, and postnatal period, baby's complication may be hypothermia, hypoglycemia, then anemia, there may be polycythemia, there may be hypocalcemia, there may be electrolyte imbalance, there may be ERDS, and so many complications can occur in postnatal life. And in later life, there may be also there may be slow growth of the baby, there may be mental retardation of this baby. This is a picture of chlorhexidine. This may be present in your exam. What are the use? What is this composition of this? This is a 7.1% chlorhexidine. What may be the use of this? Use of this may be giving management of the baby. Management of the baby. Look at this. Look at this picture. Chlorhexidine is given in the umbilical cord stem. Whole of the chlorhexidine should be given. Whole of the chlorhexidine in this vial should be given in the umbilicus for a single time. And this is not used again in another baby or any other day, for single time use. This is 7.1% chlorhexidine. It is given in umbilical stem. Then another picture. Can you see this picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell what is this?
Anencephaly.
Anencephaly, yes. Anencephaly. Question may be asked, what are the other congenital, common congenital anomaly? And in anencephaly, what may be the complications during pregnancy and during labor? During pregnancy, there may be polyhydramnios. The question may be asked, what are the causes of polyhydramnios in this case? There may be increased transudation of fluid from the exposed membrane, meninges. There may be swallowing difficulty, and there may be polyuria. These are the causes of polyhydramnios. And what difficulty may arise during labor. If anencephaly is not diagnosed previously, during labor, there may be prolonged labor, and fetus, if the fetus is full term, there may be shoulder dystocia. Head is delivered, head is small, and shoulder cannot deliver, shoulder dystocia. What is the drug used to prevent anencephaly? That is folic acid. Folic acid, 4 milligram daily, is used as a prophylaxis of anencephaly. In our country, 5 milligram of folic acid is available. It is used to prevent anencephaly 3 months before pregnancy. Started 3 months before pregnancy. This is another picture of CBC. You have seen the previously. Here hemoglobin is 8.7, and other pictures such as MCV is 71 and MCHC is 23, and other pictures like this. This is a picture of anemia, CBC with anemia. This is a picture, mother is breastfeeding her baby, and this is skin-to-skin contact, skin-to-skin contact. When it is, what is the importance of this skin-to-skin contact? Skin-to-skin contact prevent hypothermia of the fetus, and it also helps in initiation of the breastfeeding, maintain temperature, and makes a bonding between the mother and the baby. Skin-to-skin contact. After birth, skin-to-skin contact, mother helps in initiation of breastfeeding. What are these instruments? And there may be some questions. This is a Celastic venous cup. Celastic venous cup. There may be also like this Celastic venous cup. This is a small, this is medium, and this is large. Celastic venous cup. It is used. What are the uses of this venous cup? It is used during second stage of labor. What are the prerequisitions? Prerequisitions should be presentation suitable. That means presentation must be vertex, and cervix is full dilated, and membrane should be ruptured, and bladder is evacuated, and there may be no cephalopelvic disproportion. These are the prerequisite for use. What may be the fetal complication? Fetal complication if this instrument is used. There is another type of venous. This is metallic cap, and this is the Celastic cup. This is more beneficial for the fetus. It is attached to the fetus head, and delivery is done by creating a negative pressure, and it is attached to the suction machine. Then negative suction creates a pressure within it, and baby is delivered through this suction pressure. During its use, there may be some bruises or some scalp injury the fetus. There may be intracranial injury or intracranial hemorrhage. There may be chignon formation in the fetus head. These are the complications. Question may be asked, what are the advantages of ventouse over forceps? Ventouse, this is less injurious to the mother, and even sometimes it is said that it can be used even the cervix is not full dilated or not fully rotated. So this is the advantage. There may be question of partograph. There may be picture like this. This is a conjoined twin. Fetus is attached at the abdomen and also at the head. This is craniopagus and this is thoracopagus. Both of these are present in this case. This is a triplet pregnancy. The question may be asked, what are the causes of this? There may be ovulation induction drugs. Most of the causes are unknown, not known. There may be ovulation, if there is a history of ovulation induction drugs such as clomiphene or letrozole, these multiple pregnancy can occur and also can occur during IVF. What may be the complications of multiple pregnancy? Complications of multiple pregnancy, maybe this is triplet pregnancy. Complications during pregnancy, there may be increased chance of abortion or preterm labor. There may be polyhydramnios. There may be gestational hypertension or gestational diabetes mellitus. And during labor, there may be preterm labor, and there may be chance of postpartum hemorrhage and instrumental delivery. These are the complications of multiple pregnancy. This is a picture. This is a meningocele, congenital anomaly, meningocele. What are the drugs used to prevent this? Folic acid. 3 months before pregnancy. There may be station like this. How do you prepare a patient for LSCS? What are the complications of LSCS? There may be a lot of questions. How do you prepare a patient for LSCS? In case of emergency, lower segment cesarean section. If a patient comes with emergency conditions such as fetal distress, and how will you prepare? First, you have to counsel the patient and take the consent, and you have to inform the operation theater, anesthetist. You have to also inform the anesthetist. You have to inform the OT nurse, and you have to keep the patient for at least 6 hours before cesarean section, before any operation. If this is emergency case, you have to give injection, anti-ulcerant drugs, and metoclopramide. So there will be no aspiration. Chance of aspiration will be less. And you have to also review the investigations of the patient, previous reports. You have to check the hemoglobin percentage, also blood group, and you have to keep at least one donor for, if necessary, blood, so that blood can be given. What are the complications of LSCS? What are the complications of lower segment cesarean section? Complication, there may be anesthetic complication. During anesthesia, there may be hypotension. There may be, due to hypotension, there may be even cardiac arrest, and there may be aspiration. There may be during surgery, there may be excessive hemorrhage, there may be injury to the surrounding tissue, and complications which occur after a few days. There may be wound infection, wound discharge, there may be wound dehiscence, and remote complication, that is which occurs late after cesarean section. That there may be rupture of the scar in the next pregnancy. These are the complications. This is another static question. Ask 5 leading questions to determine the severity of the patient's condition who has blood pressure of 160 by 100 millimeter of mercury. If there is a patient with blood pressure 160 by 100, that is more than 140/90, that is severe hypertension. Severe hypertension, what have to ask patient to determine the severity, whether this is a case of preeclampsia with severe disease. Severe disease, what are the symptoms? You have to ask the patient. That is any blurring of vision, any double vision, or any scotoma, or any headache, frontal headache. You have to also ask whether she has a nausea or epigastric pain or upper abdominal pain, or you have to ask this question, any mental change. These leading questions have to ask to determine the severity of the patient. If these are the present, then this will be preeclampsia with severe disease and have to treat accordingly. What is this picture? Can you see the picture? Name the procedure. What is the name of this procedure?
Episiotomy.
Yes, this is episiotomy. Name 2 types of this incision. This is mediolateral, and there may be lateral incision. Also, there may be midline incision. Define 3 indications of this procedure. This procedure during if fetus is large and rigid perineum, you have to give episiotomy, or during forceps delivery, you have to give episiotomy. What is the right time to do the procedure? When episiotomy should be given? Episiotomy should be given during crowning of the fetal head. That is bulging of the fetal head. When perineum is threat to rupture, then you have to give episiotomy. One thing, episiotomy is not always needed for delivery, even in primary. Episiotomy episiotomy is not advised to give all the patients, even in primary. And even primary can deliver without episiotomy. Name 2 possible complications of episiotomy. Episiotomy may be extend in this side, in this side. There may be excessive hemorrhage, bleeding, or there may be valval hematoma. There may be pain and dyspareunia. These are the complications. Can you see this picture? What is the name of this maneuver? One hand is pushing through the vagina in a fist. Hand is like in a fist, and other hand is over the abdomen, pushing the posterior aspect of the uterus, and this is anterior aspect of the uterus. This is the bimanual compression. This maneuver is bimanual uterine compression. Bimanual uterine compression. What is the indication? Indication is PPH. PPH. If there is uterine atony, You have to give bimanual contrast to keep anterior and posterior wall of the uterus opposed. How does it act? It keeps anterior and posterior wall opposed, and by this method, uterine contraction may be achieved. Uterine atony may be relieved. Name 4 causes of uterine atony. Uterine atony may be present if there is overdistension of the uterus, in case of multiple pregnancy, polyhydramnios, or big baby, or if there is fibroid uterus, there may be uterine atony. And if the delivery is prolonged time, if labor is for prolonged time, then uterine atony may occur. Name 2 alternative methods in this if this maneuver is failed. Alternative methods may be uterine artery ligation or Billin suture if this method fails. At first, we try with this procedure, then we give also medical treatment like injection oxytocin, injection argometrin, misoprostol tablet, then this method. And this, if this fail, we have to give abdominal aortic compression and also uterine artery ligation. These are the methods to prevent PPH. A question may come, how will you catheterize a female patient? This is a procedure station. How will you catheterize? At first, you will tell the patient about the procedure, give your identity, and introduce yourself and tell the procedure. You'll check the logistic. Logistic will be gloves, pair of gloves, and Foley's catheter. There will be a syringe, and there you need a water, distilled water, to give to the catheter to dilate the balloon, and you need swab holding forceps to give the vaginal wash and wash here, and also need povidone iodine and some gauges. At first, with sponge holding forceps from Gallipot, you have to sponge holding forceps and Povisep with gauze. You have to wash the urethra and vagina, periurethral area. You have to give wash in this way, one side and then other side and then center. And you have to apart the labia minora. And then through the opening of the urethra, you have to put Foley's catheter. This is self-retaining Foley's catheter. How will you catheterize a female patient? And then after giving the catheter, you will balloon. You have to dilate the balloon by some distilled water, about 5 to 6 cc of distilled water. And then you have to reposit the patients and you will give thanks to the patient. Examine the instrument and answer the following question. This is a forceps. There may be question, what are the prerequisites for forceps delivery? Prerequisites are like those of the Pentos. Prerequisite for forceps delivery, what may be complications? There may be complications, maternal complication and fetal complication. Maternal complication may be tear of the vagina, cervix, perineum. Perineum laceration may occur, excessive bleeding, that is PPH. And fetal complication, there may be scalp injury, scalp hematoma, cephal hematoma by this instrument. And what are the indications? Indications is second stage, prolonged second stage of labor. If there is a maternal exhaustion, there are also some maternal indications such as if this is a prolonged labor in eclampsia or maternal heart disease. Then with this instrument, second stage can be cut short. There is another question. Mrs. X, 36 years old lady, para 2, delivered by cesarean section. Her last child is 6 years old, came for third series. Counsel her for bilateral tubal ligation. So this lady that come for third scissor, counsel for her ligation. You have to first introduce yourself and greet the patient, and then you'll tell that you have 2 children born by cesarean section, and this is the third scissor. If cesarean section more than 3, there may be complications such as rupture of the uterus, even before term. And in this case, your fallopian tube will be cut. Small amount of fallopian tube will be cut and excised. It will be done during cesarean section. This is no other procedure. At the time of cesarean section, we will do this, and there will be no future pregnancy. And there will be menstruation, and you can live with your husband. There will be no problem in conjugal life. And this is the procedure, and there will be no other complications. And you'll ask the patient whether she has understood all these things or not. So you have to counsel for cesarean section like this. So up to this, these are my static station. I have also covered some of the counseling station. Today's to this. Then in another day, we'll tell about some instrument. So thank you. And you will go through your book, because you will, if you are not reading, you cannot memorize all these things. You have to read over and over, time and again. You have to read all these things. So thank you all. Thank you all, and Assalamu alaikum. Hope you have enjoyed the class. Thank you.